and welcome to the assembly video for your NorDav. We've been very fortunate to have purchased a davit from NorDav, and in this video we're going to show you exactly how to mount it onto your boat. First, I'll show you everything that comes included in the box when you purchase a NorDav. Here you have the davit itself. In a telescopic pole winch, which is designed to be extended, and accompanying this pole you will also find a winch. It comes complete with a handle. Inside the box you will also find a bag containing all the necessary screws for assembly. It also comes with two straps that you can use to secure your dinghy or jet ski. It also includes a diagram showing exactly where you should mount the screws, and each individual davit has its own unique certificate. In addition, there's a plate mounted here that indicates the date and which specific davit it is in the series. The davit must be secured with 4 through bolts, and you'll need to determine the optimal location on the platform to mount your dinghy or personal watercraft. On this particular boat, we are planning to install the davit centrally positioned at the rear of the platform, extending it as far out as we possibly can. For this specific davit, an extension plate is also available, allowing you to mount it even further outwards should you find it necessary. Once you have determined the ideal spot for your davit, an instruction sheet is provided, clearly indicating where you need to drill the holes for the davit's base plate. Now that we've figured out where we want the davit, I'm choosing to dismantle its base plate here. This makes it easier to install the base plate without the davit getting in the way. What's important to remember now is that these are loose screws. If you're installing by the water, like we are now, make sure they don't fall in. So this right here is the base plate for the davit. It's simply secured by a single screw centered right in the middle of the davit. And once we've loosened this screw, it will be very straightforward to determine the ideal placement for the davit. As I mentioned earlier, we'd like to have it perfectly centered and ideally as far out as possible. Inside the bag you'll find 4 dedicated mounting screws, which are precisely what we'll be needing and using for this specific installation here. It also includes other types of screws in case you happen to have a different kind of platform, perhaps one made from an alternative material. So we'll be utilizing these 4 specific screws, which are essentially 4 through bolts or fasteners, designed to be securely fastened with a nut on the underside of the platform. It will vary from boat to boat how it is constructed, but in this case it's very easy to access the screws from underneath. I've found the center of the base plate and I'll place 4 marks where the screws will be drilled through. To ensure a watertight seal around the screws, it is essential that you apply a specialized sealant which will prevent any water from penetrating the platform. Now that the screws have been inserted through the platform, it's important to then attach the large washers that are included. Alright, so all 4 of the bolts have now been successfully installed and securely tightened. Next I'll need to carefully apply a bit of sealant. Now that the base plate has been securely fastened to the swim platform, we can reinstall the davit. One really great thing about this davit is that it's mounted on a single center bolt. If you want to take down the davit for the winter season or at any other time, you can easily do so with just one central bolt. There you go, the davit is now fully mounted.
The last thing we're going to do now is assemble the winch arm and its extension. It is telescopic, which means you can adjust its length. The winch is now mounted on the telescopic pole, and to adjust the telescopic pole you use this pin. Well, the entire davit is now completely assembled, and we are really looking forward to starting to use it. And as you can clearly see for yourselves, this particular davit has a specially designed forward shifted pivot point, which makes it possible to easily swing the davit arm almost a full 180 degrees around, just exactly as it is mounted right now. So we have now installed the davit from NorDav. It's a very simple, straightforward and easy method for installing these davits. The davit itself is of exceptionally good quality, made from 316 marine grade stainless steel and boasts an extremely fine finish. Should you have any questions regarding the NorDav davits, please do not hesitate to send us an email.